Okay, now let's start. Welcome everyone to this weekly meeting of the medical practitioners of Telehealth Today and all those who want to be a part of Telehealth Today. I'm really happy that you all are here again, and yeah, we also will share that on our channel like always, and we're so happy that we can broadcast this presentation and all the information we have to this audience all over the world. And yeah, if you don't know what telehealth today is, then reach out to me or James Hongs, the founder. And yes, let's continue with today's speaker. It's Karla Ceballos from Venezuela. She's an expert in social media marketing and has experience with the marketing and the social media presentation of medical practitioners. And so we invited her, and yeah, we are very excited of what you have to tell us. And yeah, the stage is yours. Please go ahead,
Thank
Clara.
you, Werner. Today we're going to give some social media tips for medical practitioners so you can self-manage your social media and create the best strategy for you. Next slide, please. The first thing we're going to talk about is defining your target audience. Now, what's the target audience? It's the people you want to reach on social media. They could be patients, they could be other medical professionals, they could be anyone who you would like to connect with, including students if you are a person who gives participates in conventions and such. Your target audience is in short the people you are going to create content for and who you expect will become a defender of your brand or a potential customer. Next slide, please. Now, another thing you gotta define are your goals on social media. What do you want to accomplish there? You could either be a influencer, a medical influencer. You would like to convert people to your practice and bring more sales. You would like to outreach. You would like to bring people and make people understand the new developments on your subject matter. There are many goals you could have on social media, and defining them is the first step for creating great content. Next slide, please. Now, this is very important. Intentionality while posting. You would like to prefer quality over quantity. What do I mean by this? When you're start posting on social media, sometimes you can start really excited and create a Twitter account, create an X account, sorry, create a Facebook account, create an Instagram, create a LinkedIn, and you want to post 5 times a day in every single platform or even 7 times a day. And you get really excited at first and you start posting, but there is going to come a moment where you don't have any idea what you're going to post next, or you start posting things that don't represent you better, don't represent you the best way possible. So that's why I say you have to post intentionally and prioritize quality of your content over the quantity. Because sure, posting 5 times per week is going to get you views, but at the end of the day, isn't probably the best strategy to convert people and make them actually see your services as something valuable. Or you may have a greater possibility of making mistakes and having crises you're probably not going to be best equipped to handle. Another important point here is that as a medical practitioner, you need to make sure you are not giving medical advice on your social media. You can talk about studies, you can talk about your personal opinion as a physician, you can talk about your experience during practice, but nothing of that has to be presented in a way that could be interpreted by the reader or your audience as a medical advice. This is very important. And this is something you have to keep in mind. Um, if you have a legal team or you have a lawyer, it's better that you double and triple check that your content isn't going to be interpreted as a medical advice. This is something we regularly do while in the agency I'm currently collaborating with. Nothing gets posted before the doctor checks it. Next slide, please. Now, this point, separating your personal brand from your medical practice is a bit of what I was talking about before. You can have a personal social media, sure, but probably your vacations in Bahamas aren't going to be the best thing to post on the account you're using to promote your medical practice, to give you an example. What would be an acceptable thing to post? A webinar participation, a medical congress picture while you're in the congress, but probably your picture on the beach is a no-no. Same with pictures of your children and pets, because while you are a person on social media and you have a personal brand and you have an opinion, really, at the end of the day, you have to prioritize your medical practice while using social media to promote it. Now let's go to the next slide, please. I brought a couple of case studies here. Next, please. I have two examples of misconduct on social media that brought real life impact to medical practitioners and their practices. One is A. Hurtado. That was all I could find about him. He is a dentist from Colombia who got banned from practicing for a year because he made 1,700 social media comments on other practitioner social media accounts slandering the university that professional was teaching on, and the program he was teaching, and the students that took the program. He also criticized the people on a personal level. The medical students said their practice was wrong, said their procedures were wrong. This is a developing case, so you won't find much online, but I can give you later the name of the doctor who said all this, who put the complaint to the ethics board in Colombia. So you can go check. It's all in Spanish. Another case more widely known is Dr. Roxy in the United States. That was the name of the TikTok account. This was a doctor, I'm saying was because she can't practice anymore, who got really famous on TikTok, and she posted live streams while she was in the operating room. She was aesthetic surgeon, and she basically did a lot of malpractice because she was dramatizing what she was doing while operating. So a board in the United States decided she wasn't fit to practice anymore and banned her permanently and revoked her license. So I want this not to be something to generate fear on you, but I want it to be like a cautionary tale. So you understand that what you do on social media can have lasting and real consequences on your practice. That is why you have to keep a focus on what you are intending to do there, and why it's so important to have a target audience and to have goals while posting and interacting on social media. Next slide, please. This is a case study of the things I find are right to do. I put an example of a medical doctor in my country, Venezuela. Now, here in Venezuela, social media is pretty big. People don't make purchase decisions without checking first on social media. And that's why many doctors have active Instagram accounts. What we can take from here is that this person identified himself properly as a gynecologist and an obstetrician and said all he does, gave us his full name, gave us a clear picture of his face, and he has highlights on his content that allows potential patients to check what he does and how he does it. He has footage while operating. He has pictures of his appointments and information on how to take them, of how to make them. He has recommendations from previous patients. He has a section for female reproduction health because he is an obstetrician. And he is concise but informative on what he does. On a graphic side of things, we can check all his images are well curated, and he can maintain a really clean visuals on his account. Those are good practices. Another good practice is that his name, the name of his social media handle, is identifiable with his given name and what he does. He's Dr. Jose Fioretti de Amore. I mean, he made it clear how to find him. Next slide, please. Now, let's go to the strategy per se. Well, you need to create a sustainable strategy for your social media. You need to have content pillars, which is 3 or 4 subjects on which you're going to base all your content. Those pillars aren't randomly selected. They have to do with your objectives, and they have to do with your target audience. You can repurpose content, as I was saying. If you are in a medical convention, you can totally use the pictures you took there and put them on your social media with a great copy. And you have to focus on what brings you your desired results. What do I mean by that? If you want more patients to find you, you are not going to post about, let's say, the common cold. If you are a gynecologist, you need to post about common female reproduction issues and female parts conditions that might arise, so people can find you when they look for that in social media. Another thing is that you should post as you need it. I mean, at least 3 times a week, but you can post 2 times a week, no problem, as long as your content really brings value to your audience. Because posting too often challenges your ability to produce quality, which brings me to the previous point, quality over quantity. This is something really common and not only for medical practitioners, but for many professionals on social media. There is something called fear of missing out that makes you think you have to be everywhere and everything at once. And that's not true. For example, while I work in social media, I really don't post often on anywhere else but LinkedIn because that's what brings me results. So you have to study your audience and you have to study your goals and see where the people you want to reach uses social media. What social media do they use? It could be Facebook, it could be Instagram, it could be even a blog with a newsletter. But that's something you have to check. Next slide, please. Well, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity and for coming today. I would like to share with you what I do. If you would like some help creating content, I can help you with the content strategy, with the content writing, for social media and for your blog. And I can also help you with English to Spanish translations for your medical practice and especially for your marketing purposes. There is my email if you would like to contact me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Karla. This was very interesting. And we didn't talk too much about the problems what social media can also bring. So it's very interesting. Also, I have we have also questions from our audience. Maybe if you want to unmute, or can I read that because it was direct message to me?
Please read them.
Mama. Yeah, or maybe James, go ahead.
Hi,
maybe you.
No.
I was just now, Dr. Mama.
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah.
Hi.
How are you?
Thank you so much for a nice session. It was really helpful. So I just wanted to figure out that how our presence on social media help us, like how can we use it as a professional platform to generate the revenue? Like what will be the source of earning through our presence on social media?
Can you please repeat that question?
Yeah. So as you were telling us about like various strategies, how to be present and show ourselves on social media. So how can we use this platform as a way to like generate revenue or earn money in common terms through our presence on social media?
Thank you very much. Well, the first thing you are on social media for is to build a parasocial relationship with your audience that generates trust on you as a doctor. Think of it as an interactive and constant source of reputation for you as a doctor. So the first thing to bring revenue is to show your expertise on social media and to show testimony of patients you have had that you have helped before, and then talk about your services. But you cannot use it as selling to directly, but something to build people and make them come to you. For example, in the agency I am currently working with, we collaborate with a dentist, and he brings people from even outside the country through social media. What we do there is that we
platform.
Yeah, he uses Instagram and a blog and Facebook as well.
Right.
He's on
Got
Meta,
it.
but it's because he is from Colombia, and the Latin American community in general is really active there. So it's taking that that it's what I was saying, that you have to check where is your audience, because depending on your region, people are going to be using different social medias.
Yeah.
So you have to focus on that. Well, the 2 tips I can give you is that you have to speak to your audience in their language. For example, if you want to, what's your specialty, please?
I'm a general physician.
You're
Yeah,
a
but
general
I'm
physician.
working as a school doctor now in Dubai.
Amazing. Okay. So, who do you want to attract to your social media?
It should be those who are seeking guidance, like a general patients, those with cough, fever,
Okay,
this type of
someone
thing.
who has a pain, a random pain, okay?
Yes.
Okay, let me give you an example to bring in someone who has a random pain. You have to start talking about what could be that random pain, like 3 causes, 3 reasons why someone might have a headache, for example.
Mhm.
And then you make a great image that says 3 reasons why you might have a headache, with someone showing clearly that they have a headache. You write a great copy about it, stating the reasons briefly, but without any medical terms that general population won't understand. And then you
Yeah.
close saying, I am X and I do Y. You can call me here or write me here, and we can check why you have a headache tomorrow.
Mhm. Understand.
This
We
is
use social
how you
media
create
to get.
content based on your goals on social media. Thank you very much for your question. Do you have any
Thank
other?
you. No, that's it for now. Thank you so much for the informative answer. Thank you.
Yeah, this is very practical advice, and I think you showed it really clearly that it's good that you have experts in this field, right? And particularly if you're in a critical field like a medical practitioner, you need to have also this law expertise or this legal expertise, and you need specialized agencies. And so you showed it very clearly that of course everybody can do it, but it's always good if you have some advice, right? And you give these practical examples. You have all this experience, so that's very helpful. And yeah, but James, you had maybe also a question.
I did. Thank you. And actually, Dr. Imama basically kind of asked my question for me, but I want to touch on it one more thing. So in your example with the headache, you say, this is who I am. I can help analyze whether you have a headache or not. In your call to action, what do you feel is the best way? Do they put a calendar link, an email address, or what? How do you get that first interaction with them to try and turn them into a customer? What's your number one go-to there?
It depends whether you have a team or you are on your own. If you have a secretary, you need to give them the number of your secretary. If you are posting for example, Instagram, and you are on your own, then you'll have to take people to your biography where they can see the link to your Calendly and book themselves. It's going to depend really on if you have a team or not. But going back to the example I gave the doctor, you have to be really careful on saying, I can help you to determine why this is happening, and not outright give them a solution, because that could be taken as an advice.
That makes sense. That's good.
That's really interesting. Yeah. So
Yeah,
you need to
there,
learn how to do it.
yeah, your goal there should be like bring people to your practice so you can check them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
now my second one's a little trickier, okay? Because I've had speakers on here that contradict one thing that you say, and I want to hear your opinion on it, and that's the quality over quantity, okay? Because the other argument that we hear is, oh, well, you need to post every day because if you don't, the TikTok or Instagram algorithms aren't going to see you as anything relevant. So you're not going to get the views that you would if you were posting consistently. So they've kind of had the argument that, you know, the other way around. So yeah, let's hear, you know, your justification for the quality, please.
I'm saying this with basis. In this field, if you post too often, as I said, you can fall into murky waters, or people can get bored of your content. So it's 100% better to post less frequently and bring in value than posting every single day on your feed and just making noise.
That makes sense.
I mean, you can share a story with when you're open, how can they book you, but if you're going to bring high quality content 5 times a week in every single social media you're on, that's not going to be sustainable and you're going to drop it. Because I'm thinking here about people who has a really small team, who doesn't have a social media team dedicated to their practice, who is a solopreneur on the medical field. And at the end of the day, you are on social media to bring results for you as a doctor and not just to be on social media. This is why I started to talk with Dr. Werner, actually, because I don't post often on the only social media I am on, but I bring in results and I work in media.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's true. I mean, I see you post and people connect and write comments and so on, and people interact and so they connect with you. Yeah. So I really agree on the quality. I mean, the quantity is really depending also on the media again and on how you do it clearly and if you have support from an agency or not. Of course, I mean, you can do it 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 5 times a week, but the quality has to be there. I mean, that's the main point. But maybe I can ask a question which was also discussed very often in these sessions
Yeah, sure.
about the personal branding and showing this authenticity and also showing about your personal topics, because from my experience, this brings also a lot of impressions and a lot of views, and the people see you from another side. On the other hand, I understand not to post maybe from the beach and be careful as a medical practitioner. So you have both sides, right? First, or one side is bring authenticity, bring also a picture from a personal side. On the other hand, be professional. And so I know it's difficult for a medical practitioner, but
Yeah.
what is your advice? How can
I'm
you bring
thinking
also your personal
how to
presence? And
explain it. I'm thinking how to explain it. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Okay. When you present yourself as a professional on social media, you are presenting yourself as a brand. And you have to be mindful of many, many factors. For example, I have posted selfies on LinkedIn, but they have a really powerful copy behind. And I'm always mindful of what I'm wearing and how I'm wearing it. And I'm always mindful that all the colors I'm wearing are on brand. Why? Because you can humanize a brand with a personal experience, but at the same time, there is this phenomena that leads to burnout on social media. That is that you confuse yourself as a person with your social media activity. And when you have a clear delimitation between you, the person, and you, the brand, even if it's a personal brand, it helps you to prevent that, which is one of the things that leads people to stop posting, that they get fed up because they feel all their lives are constantly broadcasted to thousands of people on social media. That's what I'm saying. You have to be mindful of you as a brand and you as a person and you as a medical practitioner. Because sure, it's great to have one or two posts every now and then to humanize the brand and show the human side of you. But at the end of the day, things like your political views, your religious views, your personal views on really tricky subjects shouldn't be on your brand social media, the social media you're using for commercial purposes. Because at the end of the day, if you are on social media as a personal brand, you have a commercial intention behind it.
Yeah. Okay, that's very helpful. Okay.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky.
It is tricky, and we see that it's good if you have experts on your side. And I mean, there are a lot out there who proclaim they're experts, but I think it's really good to have those who are also in the medical field and have experience in this field of medical practitioners. So thank you for sharing this. Are there other questions? Yeah, go ahead, please.
No, I would like to add something. The first step to crisis management on social media is prevention.
Yes.
I mean, if you can prevent a crisis from happening, you should. And you should be prepared for it to happen anyway.
Yes.
Because, I mean, you don't see it often on, let's say, LinkedIn and Facebook. But if you go on TikTok and X, you're going to see people fighting even over nail polish colors. And you have to be prepared. That's why I advocate for quality over quantity. Because if you are given like quality content, there isn't too wide room to argue.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Are there other questions? James?
Maybe just one more, just based going off of what Professor Warner was saying there. So I guess my question would be, do you make a route to your personal stuff through your commercial stuff, or do you not even have that route? They would have to find that route on their own? I guess that would be my question.
I don't understand the word.
So in other words, so let's say we're creating a content for a doctor that helps with 3 different things. But let's say this doctor also has a personal Facebook and a personal Instagram, whatever, that's not related to their practice. Anywhere on the commercial, do you have a route or a link to lead them to the personal, or do you not want to mix the waters at all? You're not leaving it.
It depends on the person, because I know of a dermatologist that also sells inspirational content for dermatology students. And she shares her personal account where she has all her travels around the world. But on her medical account, she only shares the travels related to medical summits. It really depends on what you want to accomplish on social media. Again, your goals there and your strategy. But no, you should always keep an account for each, so you can focus on the content you are creating for each. Let me give you an example. For if you have children and your child just lost a tooth a milk tooth, a baby teeth. You know, the teeth that people grow out of. And you are not a dentist. You probably won't want to share that on your medical practitioner social media account, you know? Because it doesn't have to do with it.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, do you want them to be linked at all, or probably not?
Probably
from your
not.
answer, that's what I would think too. That's what I picked up. Okay, thank you.
Probably not, really.
Okay.
Yeah, in the end, I think it's all about the strategy, right? Of your accounts, or your one account, or your several accounts, and I think this is very, very much the message of the day. Make a strategy first, and then start your LinkedIn, your social media presence, your LinkedIn presence, your social media presence. Don't do it without a strategy, and this was very powerful today. And we have seen also the pitfalls. What can happen if you don't have a strategy, and if you are not aware of the problems which can also come with social media. Thank you very much.
Here's one more question: Do you help define that strategy for your clients? And if not, how do you recommend that they define that strategy before they contact you?
Yeah, I help them.
Okay.
I help them. I'm a content strategist, actually.
Okay.
I studied that.
But
first we gotta have a meeting to define what they want to do. Then we have content proposals. Then they approve the proposals. We work on the content. And then they approve. And after they approve, then the content gets posted.
Okay.
That's
and you do that. Do you like backwards engineer it? So if their goal is to get a paying customer, do you like backwards engineer it? So like, what kind of paying customer? How are we going to attract them? And then, okay. That's cool. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this. So if somebody wants to reach out, you have the email address here. Also, the people can find you on LinkedIn, and also they can reach out to us, and we make the connection. So thank you for all this very valuable content and insights. And yeah, we will have more like this on the next Mondays.